Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So you were talking about I know, I go all over the place. 10 minutes ago, you were telling me, hey, I want to tell you this story about some mythological person. We haven't even got there because I decided to go take a break, refresh some coffee, and then, while I was gone, you had another thought about this mannequin
No, it's all
art
the same.
concept. No, it's all the same?
Yeah, it's a long story to get to.
My goodness.
Okay, so
Begin. Sorry, go ahead.
a couple years ago, I drew a sketch of having this idea of a mannequin. Back then, I thought it was probably because my grandma sewed a lot or whatever, and that's kind of
Now,
subconsciously in my brain.
is that mannequin like one of those old style, like when somebody's trying to
Seamstress
the
mannequin.
the seamstress mannequin? Because
Mhm.
I've seen that kind of play out in some of your other artwork. So that's where you're going
Well,
with this.
I'm in Olathe. I made a couple
Okay.
of
Yes.
because
Yes.
I sketched it out. I was going to paint that, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I didn't like it, so I think I've painted over them at this point. But
You've painted over a lot of things.
that idea was always in my sketchbook.
Okay.
So I went back to it a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And right now, so an artist always has a style that they like kind of get into, and then in a few years they'll come up with a different style. But they always, you can tell an artist's work unless they have like a weird brain spasm and they have like just this really weird piece of work that is not their style, but it came from somewhere, but it's theirs.
I can see that because I know for a few years. Okay, so when we lived in Wichita, you had a certain style you were going with. And then when we moved to Kansas City, Olathe area, that style morphed a little bit. I could see the blending, like a slow transformation maybe into something different. Now that we're here in Sarasota, I've seen a completely different approach to your artwork. I just wanted to say that, but
it's not completely, I bet, different
okay,
because
but
I still have my brush stroke style. I still have my how I paint style. Like nothing's ever gonna be true 100% realistic in my artwork
okay, that's
because it's
reasonable.
me.
Right,
It's not how.
right. I mean, you're not realistic. I
Right,
get it.
it's not how and a lot of things are always gonna look like really sketchy because that's how I feel. I was gonna say that's how I feel my personality is, but I'm not sketchy.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I meant like I'm very raw.
Yeah, I get it.
Thought process is very raw, so it's kind of just how it comes out. But anyway,
Sorry,
get back
go
to
ahead.
this mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had this sketch in my sketchbook, and as I've been making new sketches, I came across that again. And because I've come across this kind of style when I did the Adam and Eve with the guy and the girl, and their hair was a collage of paper, newspapers.
Oh
clippings.
yes, yes.
Okay, so I wanted to keep going with that kind of look and style and do more with that. So I came back to that mannequin sketch, and I thought, oh, I should entertain that. So I thought I would just do a sketch of a mannequin, or a painting of a mannequin with a dress, like a skirt on it, and then the newspaper is going to be the skirt. But then I thought, oh, what about a bow? Like that would be cool. Like that's a symbol of femininity.
So what do you mean by bow? Are you talking like a recurve bow?
No,
or are you
a bow on a dress or a bow on a shirt. Like that's a sign
like a
of
bow tie type of.
yeah.
Okay.
But for a woman to have a bow, that's a sign of femininity, right? Like
It
that's,
is?
to me, that screams girly girl. Like if you have
So does a guy wearing a bow tie, does that scream girly girl? No, I'm just playing
no,
around.
that is a different look.
Okay.
It has a different meaning. But
Again.
the girl with a bow.
Like
that's
a bow in her
girly.
hair or a bow on her
bow,
outfit.
big
Yes.
bow on her shirt, a bow on her skirt. Like
it's pronouncing you're proud to be a woman, or the feminine
yes.
kind of. Yes. Okay.
Yes. So that morphed into this whole the sketch of now the mannequin has a skirt with a bow, but I have to put a name to this mannequin. I can't just make a mannequin. So I started.
Why?
Because it has to have a meaning.
Okay.
I have to have a reason I'm making this mannequin.
Yes.
Like I can't just be making a mannequin. Okay.
Right. It's got to have a personality. It's
Yes,
got to
it's got to have a personality. It's got to have a name in the sort of way. So I started researching is the word epiphany of femininity? Is that the word I'm looking for?
No, epiphany is like you just have this sudden thought. Are
no,
you?
Anyway, so I started.
The original aspects of.
Yeah, like what out of all mankind, who would everyone recognizes the ultimate woman, so to speak? Okay.
What? You know, that's actually a really good question. Anyway, I don't know.
So I started researching on Google, like
Could
all
mean
these,
so many different things.
and I came across Venus, which Venus led me to Aphrodite, and I thought, you know what more is there than Aphrodite, the goddess of love, the goddess of fertility, the goddess of beauty? Like,
yeah.
what else is there? So this painting now morphed into the bow of Aphrodite, like the Aphrodite.
Yes.
So that is the title of that. But what happened there is I thought I can't have a bow of Aphrodite and not have a man version of it. And I have two canvases, similar sizes. Not that I'm going to say they're a pair, but I was like, I gotta go with the male aspect of this. So start sketching what's an accessory, what represents a man. And came across, like, it just pops in my head like a hat. Like, a hat means you're a gentleman. What are all the things that a man wears a hat for? What does it mean? Maybe he's athletic, so he has a hat on. It means he's strong. It's whatever, right? Like, so I started sketching this hat and a man. Well, of course, he also has to have a name, so I Googled Greek mythology to stay in the time period of Aphrodite. Well, that's where I come up with eros. He's the god of love. And his definition, as I started getting into it, is more suave and almost cunning to get the women. You know what I'm saying? Like if I would.
I like this guy.
Well, if I would have put it in modern terms, okay.
Right. Yes.
So when I started painting, my paintings don't always end up exactly like my sketches, obviously, because things just start going and flowing. And
well, I mean, I'm guessing from the first time you put the brush to the canvas, even the brush stroke starts to change and influence what the end result is going to be.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Everything does. Yes.
Okay.
So as I started putting, and then I wanted to stay with the style of, so now the hat's going to be the collage of newspapers, whereas on Aphrodite, it's the bow, the collage of newspapers, so it's the focal point, it's what stands out, right? So I start doing that on this painting. He ultimately ends up, you've seen it, right? Like, what do you think? Like a Spanish, the curly mustache and the little goatee. Somehow he ended up in that kind of very suave, gigolo-y look.
I wouldn't even say gigolo. I would say maybe slightly mysterious.
Yeah.
Subdued, but with a subdued confidence.
Right.
About himself that he doesn't have to scream at the world, look at me, but he knows who he is. He knows what he's about. He knows where he's going. And yes, you're right. I've seen the artwork, and hopefully you'll have that posted out for others to see soon. But when I saw that, because I was just, I think I don't remember where I was at. Maybe picking the kids up from from their camp, and I came in and I saw those two pieces of artwork, and especially with the man one, I was drawn to it because I thought, man, just even in the artwork that you've done related to him, and I love the story behind it, but I could see cool, calm, confident, something that would draw you to that person and the aura of that person. And so what you're saying to me, I think you captured that.
Yeah, but I mean, like in my sketches on my sketchbook, he didn't have any facial hair. Like he was just gonna be a plain face, but
that is not what happened.
Somehow I got the little goatee going on, and then I was like, oh, he needs, what is this? Yeah, mustache.
I don't know.
Anyway, so as I'm finishing up this artwork, and I'm stepping back to look at it, and of course, the hat is what jumps out at you. And because of the old newspaper and the color of the newspaper, all I can think of is I'm looking at this painting and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's like my grandpa Liker's hat he wore every day when he rode his bike. It's like this wide brimmed, yellowed out, strawy looking hat, right?
Right. That's crazy.
And I was like, see, that inspiration was in there. Like, this whole process, but it had to be in there for me to make this hat and then go, oh my gosh, that's my grandpa Liker's hat. Like, so that's where I was going with, how do I come up with ideas? They just pop in my head. And then they just come out.
Right.
And I don't even know it at the time. Or maybe I had a different idea when I was sketching it out, and then as it morphs into the actual piece, just more and more flows out. Like, and I don't know, it's all memories, it's childhood, it's walking down the street with your kids. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Well, good morning.
Did you sleep good? Oh, good. Now what's she gonna have? You don't know? All right.
You'll find something, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty cool, though. I mean...
So that was a long story to get to where does my idea come from?
Makes sense to me. I mean, I'm not shocked because we've had those kind of conversations, especially when we go and maybe you just ride along in a golf cart, or you walk along when I'm playing disc golf, or, right? But it's stuff that I just walk by and never even give it a second look, yet somehow you store that and then it manifests itself as you're doing something later.
Right. But I don't think I ever specifically pick up or think of something being that is a perfect painting, or that's a perfect inspiration for whatever. It just stores, and then it'll come out, like whether I'm sketching or whatever.